From the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, it's the 2017 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Honoring ELO, Joan Baez, Yes, Tupac Shakur, Journey, Nile Rodgers, Pearl Jam. With special appearances by Danny Harrison, Jackson Browne, Indigo Girls, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, Snoop Dogg, YG, Alicia Keys, Tretch, T.I., Pat Monahan, Pharrell Williams, Lenny Kravitz, and David Letterman. Please welcome Jan Wenner.
"32 years ago, the very first person ever inducted into the Hall of Fame was Chuck Berry. No one in this room would be here tonight but for this man. He is called the father, the inventor of rock and roll. He was the first to hear it. He put the poetry of the common man to the beat, and then he laid on that revved up, motivating double string guitar attack that laid down the law for every rock and roll musician that ever came after. So tonight, we begin by paying our deepest and greatest respect and say farewell to the founding father.
1926, and it's in October the 18th, 7 o'clock in the morning. I sparked into life.
I came right in at the right time, spilling over into the mainstream of pop.
Ring, ring goes the bell.
As long as the music has something to do with your walk of life, I think the people will listen.
The way the lyrics rolled off the tongue, the way they stabbed, the way they cut.
I took my lyric inspirations from daily rituals.
Same thing every day, getting up, going to school. No need of me complaining, my objections overrule.
And if you look back at those songs, they're all little stories that could very well happen to the average American boy or girl.
Riding along in my automobile, my baby beside me at the wheel.
That's one thing about rock and roll. It's freedom.
I think he's probably the first guitar hero. I thought, oh, that's the guitar player. That's the king.
I first really heard Chuck Berry through the Rolling Stones. I think I learned my first Chuck Berry lead from Keith Richards, probably.
Hey, I know what I owe him. He gave me my mission, which is to try and put some music together that sounded as meaningful and to the point as that.
All those kids who are brought up in England think it's a genius. You're always trying to write something a bit like that. Just a rock and roll song.
Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music, any old way you choose it.
The day he walked in the door, and I went, Chuck Berry, my hero, he just came out, you know.
No group, be it Beatles, Dylan or Stones, has ever improved on Chuck Berry.
There's no color to music. It's only emotion. I never wanted to appeal to any color, really. Music was music. Music was a feeling. It's aim, desire, determination, a lot of other things that go along with the longevity that has been with me.
In the wee, wee hours, that's when I think of you.
Talent. God-given talent. Chuck Berry is rock and roll. He's king of rock and roll.
Well, I don't know. I'm up there. After I'm gone, I hope they'll just speak the truth. Be it pro, con, bad, good, whatever it be, I just hope it's real.
Ladies and gentlemen, Danny Harrison.
Thank you for having me tonight. I'm truly honored to induct one of my all-time favorite bands, Electric Light Orchestra, into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Take a look.
It was me, Roy Wood, Bev Bevan, Richard Tandy. We were sort of fed up with playing the usual style of rock and roll, you know, the three guitars, bass, you know. And so we said, let's bring the strings into the scene.
And I was messing about and I was playing all these Jimi Hendrix riffs on the cello, you know, and it sounded great. And Jeff said, oh, I like the sound of that. And that's how ELO was born, really.
We were all massive Beatle fans. A lot of it was trying to emulate
Strawberry Fields, Eye Under Walrus.
Like big sliding cellos and stuff. Obviously, there's an influence.
I heard John say, oh, it's a nice little group, that.
Electric Light Orchestra, I call them Son of Beatles, although they're doing things that we never did, obviously.
But, you know, you think, you know, you obviously want to be your own thing.
So we wanted to do something different.
I've been doing sessions for The Move, and then they formed ELO and asked me to join.
Since then, I've never looked back.
Roy left after about 3 months. It proved to be a big opportunity for me because I was now the sole songwriter and the producer.
When you write a song in your mind, you can hear how a record should sound. When you start actually creating it and it does sound like that, it's great. It's a nice feeling to think, yeah, it really does work.
I consider my music sort of more of a craft than art.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why. It was a nicely gradual thing, really. We became huge.
We owe it to the fans to appear live because they really want to see you. And then gradually it built up over a few years until it got to be outrageous, you know, with the big flying saucer and all that stuff.
It was impossible to recreate the sound I've got on the records with all the orchestra and the choirs.
It sort of worked, I suppose. You know, nobody ever said, oh, it doesn't sound big enough.
Those songs have lasted all these years, you know, and they're still kind of relevant in their own little way. As a songwriter, that's all you can ever ask for, you know, that the music does reach a lot of people. It's exactly what I imagined ELO to be.
If my father was still with us here, I'd imagine he'd be standing where I am right now, graciously inducting the original members of ELO into the hall. He loved ELO, the Beatles loved ELO. One of the great songwriters, producers, musical innovators of our time, a rare genius, a real life legend, and ELO's mastermind for nearly 50 years. My dear, dear pal, Jeff Lynne. Jeff was one of my father's dearest friends. It was March of 1986 when I had my first close encounter of the ELO kind. This was my first big rock show. I was 7.5, and from my perspective, ELO's performance that night was less like that of a reputable rock band, more like witnessing a 21st century extraterrestrial spaceman wielding bizarre instruments. Reminded me of like the Star Wars Cantina Band, you know, like, only with lots more hair. It was epic, and I wanted to be transported, beamed up, probed, whatever. I just wanted to join their team and never go back. So after a dozen or so songs, my father gets up from his seat. Suddenly, he reappeared on the stage carrying a guitar. And I began to panic, because this was the first time I'd ever seen my dad play an instrument, ever, on stage in my entire life. Out of nowhere, in perfect unison, they all kicked into Johnny B. Good, just like in Back to the Future. And I remember thinking, what is going on? And my father's being abducted by like an intergalactic space orchestra. Again, ELO's taken my father and left me behind, the bastards. And to my joy and surprise, joining us after was ELO's extraterrestrial wizard captain, the man in the middle, Jeff Lynne. He'd come to live with us on Earth, and Jeff was soon a permanent fixture at our house. And he worked with Dad on Cloud 9. And then there was the Traveling Wilburys. I got to be a fly on the wall. I got to see his genius as a producer. During all of those sessions, I came to realize that a lot of my dad's friends were, in fact, from outer space. Like Jeff. You could tell because of their eyes, right? Their eyes were far more sensitive to Earth's bright sun than normal humans. So they required special lenses to protect them during the day, and most of the night. Years later, on a personal note, and I know this is a bit sad, but one of my final conversations I ever had with my dad was whilst we were trying to complete his final record. It seemed, you know, we'd run out of time, and he told me, take the masters and seek out once again that space wizard, Jeff. And that together, we would know what to do, you know? So I did. Working with Jeff was one of the most amazing times I've ever had, and seeing those beautiful blue eyes peeking over the top of those space lenses has carried me through some of the toughest musical moments in my life. And for that, I thank you. And so, it's my great, great honor to induct ELO into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Please.
First of all, I would really like to thank Jeff for his dedication to writing the songs. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been invited here tonight. That's been the main thing, is the songs. And also to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for this wonderful award. It really means a lot. Thank you very much. Over to Jeff.
Well, thank you very much indeed. It's been a long road, I'll tell you that. And it's such a pleasure to get one of these, because I've watched lots and lots and lots, hundreds of them, of people getting them all the time, and I go, oh, I wonder if I'll ever get one of them. And it's like my dad said, everything comes to him what waits. It's true. And talking of my dad, my musical education actually was, I was walking down the street one day with him when I was about 7. And in this street, there was a great big sewer pipe. And he went to this sewer pipe and he went, ha, 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 ha. And of course, it echoed like a choir of angels. It was beautiful. And that's how I learnt harmony, believe it or not. And he said, come on, you have a go. And of course, I was 7, so I went, ha, 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 ha. And it was so fantastic. I went, God, is that all you have to do? And that's a chord. And that is a chord. And I thought, I can do a chord. That was the way I got started, really. So thank you all very much for enjoying my music. And thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny. And I'd just like to say, Richard couldn't be here tonight, and that's a shame. And Bev couldn't be here tonight, but Roy was here tonight, which is great. And thank you all very much indeed.
You made a fool of me, but them broken dreams have got to end. You ain't got nobody else to use. There's an song. How funny how you broke me up. You made the wine, now you drink a cup. Came running every time it cried. Thought I still left smiling your eye. Very nice to know that you ain't got no place left to go.
Thank you very much.
Sun is shining in the sky. There ain't a cloud in sight. It stopped raining. Everybody's in a play. And don't you know it's a beautiful new day. Hey, running down the avenue. See how the sun shines brightly in the city. On the streets where once were clear, it's the blue sky is living here today. Hey, Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Hey, you with the pretty face, welcome to the human race. A celebration, Mr. Blue Sky's up there waiting, and today is the day we've waited for. Oh, Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue, we're so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you. Mr. Blue, you did it right. But soon comes Mr. Night. Creeping over, now his hand is on your shoulder. Never mind, I remember you this way. Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Baby, Mr. Blue Sky, we're so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you.
My name is Joan Baez. Sometime during my childhood, I heard that all men were supposed to be brothers and that we were not supposed to kill each other.
He taught me to love him and call me his beloved.
I realized I had a voice when I was about 14. My sister would sing the most beautiful harmonies with me.
Sheriff John Stone, why don't you leave me alone?
Picked up the ukulele, somebody taught me some chords. And then I moved on to Belafonte. And then the next step was Seeger and Odetta. That was my introduction to folk. And when I was 17, my family drove across country to Cambridge. When the folk music boom started to happen, I was right smack dab in the middle of it in Harvard Square.
I never will marry. I'll be no man's wife.
I was singing in these coffee shops, and then the Newport Folk Festival, I was a guest for a couple of songs. And then all of a sudden, I was folk queen. Bingo, like that.
Joan Baez, she was staggering.
My daddy's a handsome devil.
Kind of like hit my world from a different angle. Thought, you know, like a girl looks like she might need a singing partner.
You say you're looking for someone who'll pick you up each time you fall.
I think what he gave me was, and I refer to it as a musical arsenal.
No, 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 it ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for, babe.
If you're committed to singing meaningful songs, you also have to be committed to leading a life that backs that up. Any political action we got into was all based on nonviolence. And that was eventually my attraction to Dr. King.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
Dr. King began calling on me as an advocate. So it's easy for me to move into social change. And I've found that's where I've been the most comfortable.
They say everything can be replaced.
Politics is people. No, politics is the right to live.
Can you get a world where there's brotherhood, where there's decency, where there's kindness, where there's love, where we have a chance of surviving for more than 20 years? No, you cannot get that by shooting people.
Virgil Kane is my name, and I drove on the Danville train.
I had a social political foundation at a very early age, which has carried me all through my life. And then I had the music. I had this enormous gift. So I had these two pillars. When I look back, it's something to be very proud of.
Please welcome Jackson Browne.
The changes that began happening in the 60s, the civil rights movement, opposition to the Vietnam War, the sexual revolution, the spiritual exploration and consciousness expansion, women's liberation, none of that can be separated from the folk music that was being rediscovered and brought to the forefront of popular culture. Of all the many great artists who were singing and recording this music and who embodied the search for what was real, historic, and eternal, the one who suddenly emerged and came to national prominence was Joan Baez. The first record I ever bought with my own money was Joan Baez's second album. I was 14. I went down to our little record store there in Fullerton. I went into that listening booth, and right away I was taken with what was for me completely new music. Just voice and guitar, but so ethereal, powerfully in tune, deeply expressive, dramatic, hypnotic. The purity of her voice was intoxicating. Her enormous dynamics and the command she had as a singer, mixed with the drama and the mystery of those old songs, led me into the world of folk and blues and the voice and guitar-driven narratives that have been at the center of my musical quest my whole life. Almost immediately, she introduced her audience to the songs of Bob Dylan. Joan Baez gave Bob Dylan a national audience, catapulting what is now known as the protest song into the consciousness of a whole generation. There's no way to quantify how much Joan Baez means to people of my generation who grew up listening to her voice leading us in singing "We Shall Overcome." And when I hear the recording now, I feel a deep sadness that the song is as needed now as it was then. Now, even more. Joan Baez empowered me to sing and play guitar when I was a kid, not that much younger than her, and to find my voice and to eventually try to use it to make the changes I need to see in the world. So, it is my honor and my pleasure and a recognition long, long overdue to welcome Joan Baez to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And it gives me enormous pleasure to accept this prestigious and very cool award tonight. Thank you to the Hall of Fame for this somewhat unlikely induction. A special thanks to my manager, Mark Spector, for having kept my career visible, viable, and vibrant. I'm aware that I'm speaking to many young people who, without this induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, would have no clue who I am. My granddaughter had no clue who I was until I took her backstage at a Taylor Swift concert where she got a selfie, an autograph, a t-shirt, and newfound respect for her grandmother. Though one cannot say I'm a rock and roll artist, one cannot overlook the folk music of the 60s, thank you, Jackson, and the immense effect it had on popular music, including rock and roll. Nor can anyone overlook the role that I played in that phenomenon. I was lucky enough to have found my voice when coffee shops were the order of the day. Most of us in the community of both folk and rock music share with each other the similarities and differences of how we got to where we are today. I'm beholden to those rock and rollers who are long gone and to those who live on, who have enriched and brightened my life from vinyl to digital and everything in between and back to vinyl. When I was 16, my aunt took me to see a Pete Seeger concert. The Cold War was getting a foothold and ushered in a shameful period in this country. My family was then Quaker and socially and politically active. Pete's influence on me took like a good vaccine, and I turned my attention to folk music and political activism. My voice, thank you. My voice is my greatest gift. I can speak freely about the uniqueness of it precisely because it's just that, a gift. What has given my life deep meaning and unending pleasure has been to use my voice in the battle against injustice. It has brought me in touch with my own purpose It has also brought me in touch with people of every background. And I've met and tried to walk in the shoes of those who are hungry, thirsty, cold, and cast out, people imprisoned for their beliefs, and others who have broken the law, paid the price, and now live in hopelessness and despair. Of exonerated prisoners who have spent decades in solitary confinement awaiting execution, of exhausted refugees, immigrants, the excluded and the bullied, those who have fought for this country, sacrificed, and now live in the shadows of rejection. And now, in the new political and cultural reality in which we find ourselves, there's much work to be done. We, the people, are the only ones who can create change. I'm ready. I hope you are too. I want my granddaughter to know that I fought against an evil tide and had the masses by my side. Thank you. When all of these things are accompanied by music of every genre, the fight for a better world, one brave step at a time, becomes not just bearable, but possible and beautiful. Thank you again.
Swing low, sweet chariot coming to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot coming to carry me home. Will you get there before I do? Coming to carry me home. Tell all of my friends that I'm a-coming there too. I'm a-coming to carry you home. Over yonder, yeah, and what did I see? Coming to carry me home. Soft a band of angels coming for me. They were coming to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot coming to carry me home. So a band of angels coming for me. They were coming, oh, to carry me. You, us, even Donald on home. Amen. Thank you. Virgil Kane is my name, and I drove on the Danville train. Till Stone's cavalry came and tore up the tracks again. In the winter of '65, we were hungry, just barely alive. I took a train to Richmond that fell. It was a time I remember oh so well. said to me, Virgil, quick, come see, there goes Robert E. Lee. Now, I don't mind chopping wood, and I don't care if the money's no good. You take what you need and you leave the rest. They should have never have taken the very best. The night they drove old Dixie down, and all the bells were ringing. The night they drove old Dixie down, and all the people were singing. They went na 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 na. Like my father before me, I'm a working man. Like my brother before me, I took a rebel stand. Well, he was just 18, proud and brave. A Yankee laid him in his grave. Swear by the blood below my feet, you can't raise a cane back up when it's in defeat. The night they drove old Dixie down, and all the bells were ringing. The night they drove old Dixie down, and all the people were singing. They went na 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 na. Thank you.
You are amazing.
Amy and Emily and Mary Chapin Carpenter, thank you.
The Yes theme has always been a hopeful one.
Me and Chris initially decided that we wouldn't be a Here Today, Gone Tomorrow band.
I've seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way. I've seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way.
What we were convinced was that you could make music that was in the underground tradition, but you could do it and present it in a way that it was available for everybody to enjoy.
We were after to try and get as much emotion into making the full use of a melody by doing key changes, by changing the notes around, chordal structures underneath it, getting the most out of it, working very much on a classical principle.
You couldn't stick Rick Wakeman in just a rock and roll band, or Steve Howe. Chris especially, his work with Bill, if you listen to Fragile and Close to the Edge, is immaculate.
We'd all gather around and discuss whether the next bass note should be F or should it be F sharp, you know, and this took a while, as you can imagine.
And we really got the music, really how the group wanted it.
And we'd stop when it was finished, look at each other and say, well, that's great, what is it? And they'll say, it's 12 minutes long. Wow.
Long distance, gone around. Long time.
Pretty much throw all these ideas and then fashion it into some kind of a song. But once again, with no real definite idea of what the end picture was supposed to look like until we got there.
Trevor Rabin, I think, is the catalytic element of the success of the band of the 80s. He gave the band the roundabout of the 1980s. Once you've been in Yes, it is such a tight organisation and looks after its own. And it is the musicians who are there at the time who've had the honour of continuing making the Yes music.
Please Please welcome Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson of Rush.
Well, hello. And we thought we waited a long time to get in the Hall of Fame. It is our great, great honor to be with you and Yes this evening. Alex?
Thanks, Ged. There's nothing so fleeting yet enduring about the way music feels when you're 17 years old. As Yes played in my room, I played too. I spent hours picking my way through songs like Starship Trooper and Yours Is No Disgrace. Yeah, how wonderful was that swirling outro in Starship Trooper? I must have played that a million times. Yes helped give me the gift of music, which is everything, as you know, and made me want to be a better musician, and that provided some of the determination to one day stand on this stage giving tribute to this amazing band. The musical choices we make in our youth help to mold who we become. Choose the guitar intro for going for the one. Yeah. Choose learning to play Starship Trooper on a cheap secondhand guitar. Not so easy. Choose Chris Squire's amazing bass tone, right, Ed? Choose John Anderson's ethereal vocals. Choose Fragile. Choose wearing a cape before Rick Wakeman did. This guy right here. Choose Roundabout. Choose the glorious guitar work in Owner of a Lonely Heart. So beautiful. Choose the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And definitely choose Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. Like he can play Starship Trooper? I don't think so. So picture this. In the early 70s, I spent up from 1 to 3 years in grade 10 in high school, seated at the back of the class with my new pal, Oscar. I can still recall one of the days that we opted out of school and were sitting cross-legged on the floor of Oscar's room as he introduced me to an album called Time and a Word by a band called Yes that I'd never heard of. Right? I still thrill to the bass part in No Opportunity Necessary, No Experience Needed, the way I did the first time I heard it that day. For years, people asked me why I played a Rickenbacker bass. All I have to do is point to that album, that song, and Chris Squire's incredibly original playing to provide the answer. It was a crisp night in 1972 when Oscar, myself, and this guy, Alex Lifeson, lined up overnight around the block that was then Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens to finally witness Yes live for ourselves. It was like nothing I'd ever seen or experienced before. It was actually profound. And it's not overstating things to say that it changed the way I played and listened to music forever. And so here we are, decades later, and the music of Yes is still echoing down through the years, showing me that music truly is a continuum. So on behalf of Oscar, my good friend and Alex's Neil, who's not here tonight, Alex and myself, I say thank you, Yes. It's our great, great honor to finally welcome Yes into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
This is for the Yes fans everywhere. Really. It's kind of interesting. I went to the Hall of Fame about 4 years ago with my beautiful wife, Janie. There she is. And I walked around the Hall of Fame and all my heroes were there. All these great people.
And we're going to join them. I can't believe it. It's truly amazing. I was very lucky, you know. It's actually 49 years ago tonight that I met Chris Squire in a bar. I remember going to him and saying, "Hi, Chris, how are you?" He was so tall, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, we got a band going. We had a guitar player called Peter Banks. Now, really? We had a drummer called Bill Bruford. He's there. Mr. Bill Bruford. He's behind me. But Chris is in heaven now, and Peter Banks is in heaven, and the spirit of them, they're there tonight. They're here with us tonight, that's for sure.
Okay, I'm Steve Howe. Of course, we'd love to thank all our fans for believing all these years that we deserve and need to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame anyway. Nothing can take away the response we've gotten from our fans, who obviously have a different ear from the general music lovers. Fortunately for us, they're able to distinguish the textures and the harmonies and the discords and the dynamics of the dramatic and the humble and the soft and the low and the quiet. And as Bill used to say when asked, what is Yes music? Bill would say simply, some of it's fast and some of it's slow. I'd just like to take a minute now just to thank my wonderful wife and our wonderful family who've been behind us through the highs and the lows. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would like to thank, apart from all the guys in Yes that I've worked with, my father, who played a massive part in my musical career. My family were all in the entertainment business. He taught me a lot. I remember he sat me down once and said, "Son," he said, "don't go to any of those really cheap, dirty, nasty, sleazy strip clubs, because if you do, you'll see something you shouldn't." So, of course, I went, and I saw my dad. I'm glad that we're actually up third, because as you get older, you know, the old things like the prostate start acting up a bit, and the distance between comfort breaks gets less and less. But I would like to say quite seriously how important it is to have the old examination, which I had indeed on Monday. No, and for you ladies who don't know, it's really tough. You have to get in the old fetal position. You hear the old plastic glove go on, the rubber glove. And then it's like a gopher going on holiday inside your rectum. And whilst I was having my examination, the doctor said to me, he said, "Mr. Wakeman," he said, "there's no need to be embarrassed. It's not unusual to get an erection at this kind of procedure." And I said, "I haven't got an erection." He said, "I know, but I have." Thank you very much. God bless you.
Mountains come out of the sky. Stand there. One my lover will be there. We'll see you. 22 summers will be there. Nothing too. 24 before my love, you see, I'll be there with you. I will remember you. Your silhouette will record the view of this atmosphere. Call it morning, driving through the sun in and in the valley. Yeah, in and around the lake. Mountains come out of the sky and stand there. One mile over, we'll be there, we'll see you. 10 summers, we'll be there, loving too. 24 before my love, you see, I'll be there with you. Along the drifting cloud, the eagle searching down on the land. Catching the swirling wind, the sailor sees the rim of the land. The eagle's dancing wing creates weather spins out of hand. Come closer, hold the line. Be partly no more than grains of sand. We stand to lose all time. 1,000 ounces by in our hand. Next to our deeper fears, we stand surrounded by million years. I'll be the roundabout, the word to make you out and out. I'll be the roundabout, the word to make you out and out. In and around the lake, mountains come out of the sky. They stand there. 24 before my love, and I'll be there. Got to be there. beautiful and wonderful out there. Thank God for music. That's all we know. Take care.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
It's just me against the world.
I was raised in New York. My mama was a Panther.
My mother taught me 3 things: respect, knowledge, and she taught me if there's something on my mind, speak it.
This is me against the world.
My name is Tupac Shakur, and I attend Tamanpaya High School, and I'm 17 years old.
I read a lot. I wrote poetry. I used to rap everywhere. I was one of those people, man. I put my tape in the tape deck. I interrupt conversations and just start rapping.
Tupac, go ahead and rock
Now
this.
I clown around when I hang around with the underground. Shock G, he was the mega. He was the first individual anywhere to believe in me.
Trap can barely walk the city streets without a cop harassing me, searching me, then asking my identity.
As a writer, whatever I wrote was honest. It might not have been positive, but I've reached somebody. They relate to the brutal honesty in the rap.
Brenda's belly's getting bigger, but no one seems to notice any change in her figure. She's 12 years older, she's having a baby.
As a young black man, I would be wrong to not talk about the problems of the young black female.
And since we all came from a woman, got our name from a woman, and I came from a woman.
My music is spiritual. It's all about emotion. I reveal myself in every one of my records.
You gotta keep your head up.
Oh yeah.
I get around.
There are so many young black males out there that need to identify with something. All my life I've been watching when they describe young black males, they describe us as thuggish or thugs. But to me, thug is being someone that has nothing. And that even though I have nothing and there's no home for me to go to, my head is up high.
California.
I don't want to be a role model, I just want to be real.
Out on bail, fresh out of jail, California.
I got a big mouth, can't help it. Talk from my heart, I'm real.
Who shot me, but your pulse didn't finish. Now you're about to feel the wrath of a minute. Nigga, hit him up.
I don't feel like what I did was so evil. I just feel like the way I was living was a part of my progression to be a man. Shit. I guess change is good for any of us. Everybody changes. Everybody becomes better people. You know, we all should get that chance.
How many brothers fell victim to the streets? Rest in peace, young nigga. There's a heaven for you.
Everything is based on the pain that I felt from my childhood. But I'm a soldier, I always survive. The only thing that can kill me is death. That's the only thing that'll ever stop me is death. And even then, my music will live forever.
I'd be a lie if I told you that I never thought of death. My niggas, we the last ones left. Cause life goes on.
To induct Tupac Shakur, please welcome Snoop Dogg.
Really can't believe that it's been 21 years since we actually got to hear from Tupac. No, not the one clip on YouTube, not the movie or the hologram. Tupac Amaru Shakur, the human being. 21 years ago in Las Vegas, Tupac Shakur was taken from all of us. He was only 25 years old, too. Damn near the same age as my oldest son. And while many remember him now as some kind of thugged out superhero, Tupac knew he was only human. And he represented through his music like no one before. It's a fact that he never shied away from. He wore it like a badge of honor. With an unapologetic rawness, Pac embraced those contradictions that prove we ain't just a character out of someone else's storybook. To be human is to be many things at once. Strong and vulnerable, hard-headed and intellectual, courageous and afraid, loving and vengeful, revolutionary and, oh yeah, don't get it fucked up, gangster. So, while we may be here today to celebrate one of music's most prolific and outspoken artists, as he's rightfully enshrined amongst the greatest musicians to ever do it, I'm here to make sure that Pac is remembered the way he would have wanted to be. A strong black man that stood for his. That's what made Tupac the greatest rapper of all time. But to me, Tupac was first and foremost the homeboy. I finally got a chance to meet Pac in 1993 at a rap party for Poetic Justice in LA. And on that night, Pac passed me my first blunt. Yeah, no, for real. That's right, Tupac is the one that got Snoop Dogg smoking blunts. You see, I was a Zigzag man before that shit. And we became very good friends quickly thereafter. And then, in 1995, I told Suge Knight, I said, Suge, get Pac out of prison, have him come join our team at Death Row Records. You know, the most unfuckwittable record label of all time. And our friendship there was like player to player. He never had a team before. It was always just him. Now with us, it was like he joined the Showtime Lakers. Dre was the coach, Suge was the owner, and me and Pac, we were the stars on the court making history with every new song. We were young, rich, and rock stars. But we were also young black men with targets on our back. We were catching cases simultaneously. That's why when we got together, we really were two of America's most wanted. He had just gotten out of jail. I had just beat my case. I get a white Rolls Royce with that creamy peanut butter interior. And Pac, he'd go out and buy a black one with the same thing. He'd have his tailor come over and lace us up with them Hugo Boss suits, you know, mafia style. He put me up on a lot of boss player shit like Gucci and Versace and shit I can't even pronounce. I got me a penthouse suite on Wilshire. Then 2 weeks later, Pac got the one right across the hall from me. Neighbors, you dig? We had no peers beside one another, just two black boys struggling to become men. I never shared this story before, but it really speaks to our journey. I had just beaten my case, and Suge had taken us to South America to get away from all of the drama, and me and Pac was parasailing. You heard right. Snoop Dogg and Tupac parasailing together with Suge Knight driving the boat. Does anybody know what parasailing is? Because we damn sure didn't. Me and Pac was sitting on the edge of the boat with all this gear and shit on. Then all of a sudden, the boat pulls away and we start floating up in the air. We scared as a motherfucker, damn near holding hands. And Suge ass kept dropping the lever and slamming us into the water like boom. I don't know what was in there. It could have been sharks, octopuses, or whatever. And I'm like, man, quit playing. It was crazy because not only did we think we were on top of the world at that time, we actually were on top of the world. Floating around in the sky. Then all of a sudden, Pac would start telling me about some movie idea he had. He seen me as an actor. He saw more potential in me than I saw in myself. And it's funny because after he passed away, I started getting a lot of movie roles. And I always felt that Pac was looking out for his nigga, even after he was gone. See, that's the thing with Pac. When he loves hard. Whether that was him loving black people, him loving his homies, him loving his record label, and of course, him loving his beautiful and incredibly strong mother, the late Afeni Shakur. Memories of Miss Shakur are embedded in my mind. Right after I heard Tupac got shot, I immediately flew to Vegas, and I walked in the room and I seen him laid out on the bed with all kind of tubes and shit in him, and I was so weak, I damn near fell over. And his mom came over to me and she grabbed me and she held me up and she said, baby, you got to be strong. And I went and sat next to him and was whispering to him, telling him I loved him and to hold on and he was gonna be okay. And even in that moment, his mom was thinking more about me than herself and showing me how to love strong. I realized that Pac was taught how to love at a very early age. And through his music, he shared the love with all of us. And that's ultimately why we're here tonight. Pac's a part of history for a reason, because he made history. He's hip-hop history. He's American history. And just like in school, the more research that you do on history, the more information that you have. So with that said, we'd all like to officially welcome Tupac Shakur into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Tupac, we love you, dog. And since my brother's not here in the physical form, I'll accept this honor on his behalf. I love you, Tupac. Welcome to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Thug Life.
I won't deny it, I'm a straight rider. You don't wanna see me. But the police messing with me, but they can't do nothing to a G. I won't deny it, I'm a straight rider. You don't wanna mess with me. Got the police messing with me, but they can't do nothing to a G. Oh yeah. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight, and we are honoring some of the greatest of all time. And it feels good. Now tonight, I myself am here honoring the one and only Tupac Shakur. Let me hear you say yeah. All right. So if you're feeling good like how I'm feeling good, and you know, you might want to vibe with me, see, because I figured I'd just come out here with my piano keys and just have a little, play some of my favorite ones, you know what I'm saying? So if you feeling good like we feeling good, then help me sing. Like, step up, step up, step up, round and round, round we go. Step up, step up, step up, round and round, round we go. Step up, step up, round and round, round we go. Step up, step up, round and round we go. This is one of my favorites. Whoa. I ain't mad at you. 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 Or maybe this one. You are appreciated. You are appreciated. You are appreciated. When I was young, me and my mama had beat, 17 years old, kicked out on the streets. Now back in the time, I never thought I'd see your face, but ain't a woman alive that ever take my mama's place. So I'm saying, lady, don't you know we love you, sweet lady? Place no one above you, sweet lady. Don't you know we love you? Yeah. And you know, one of my favorite things about Pop is the way that he, you know, every lyric that he ever said, it came exactly from his life, exactly from his heart. He was so raw and so real and so honest. And even though I never met him, I wish I did. I learned so much from him. All those stories and all that realness, all that honesty, I took that with me. And now that he's gone, it's different, you know? Changes. Dear mama. be the same now. That's just the way it is. Oh yeah. We love you.
Ain't nothing but gangsta party.
What's up? Hey. Ain't nothing but a gangsta party.
I need everybody on your feet right now. Come on, y'all. Put your guns in the air for my nigga Tupac. Put your motherfucking guns up. Break out the champagne. From the kings to a left. It ain't nothing but a motherfucking gangsta party.
Hey, picture perfect. I paint a perfect picture. Bombing hoochies with position. My attention to get richer with the ass and double OP. Dog, my fucking homie, use a code that nigga on them hoes.
Show enough, I keep my hand on my gun, cause they got me on the run. Now I'm back in the cold room, waiting on the outcome. Free Tupac is all that's on the nigga's mind. But at the same time, it seems they trying to take mine. So one more get smart and get defensive and shit. And put together Million March for some gangster shit.
Hey, so now they got a station. 2 multi-millionaire motherfuckers catch a case.
Run it.
Bitches get ready for the down. Emphasis about to go down. Me and Snoop about to clown. I'm losing my religion. I'm snitches on these stool pigeons. You might be deep in the game, but you got the rules missing. Niggas be acting like they savage. They ain't thinking they carrots. I got nothing for love for my niggas living love.
I got a pit named Petey, she niggerino. I got a house out in the hills right next to Chino. And I think I got a black BMO. But my dream is to own a fly casino like Bugsy Siegel and do it all illegal and get scooped up by my little homie in the Regal. It feels good to you, baby bubba. You see, this is for the G's and the keys, motherfucker.
Hold up, now follow as we ride. Motherfuck the rest, you are the best from the
west side.
And I can make you famous. Niggas been down for years. So how can they blame us? I live in fear for felony. I never stop better knees. Motherfucking G's, nigga. So if you got a better flow, say what? Another one. To up America must want.
Tupac, rest in peace, my nigga.
Rest in peace, Pac. Rest in peace, fuck. Push me.
Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting pussy. Picture private crafts and loaded. Wise words being beat the freak that's in the game and they sold it. Bow down, pray to God, hoping that he's listening. See them niggas coming with my diamonds when they glisten. Now pay attention. We going down now. I'm a ghost, 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 ghost. We about to smoke, go, go. Take me time of the man scheme with his feet. For the street, dominate, come trees. Activate that hate with the AK and that tray 8. Pop, we hitting them state to state. Hey, some say game is all corrupted. Fuck it, this shit right here, these niggas lucky that I don't bust out and bust it. Never touch it, didn't bust it up. Fuck the world if they can't adjust. It's all well, hell, come with me. Hell, Mary, nigga, run quick speed. What do we have here now? Do you wanna ride it out? La 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 la. Quick speed. What do we have here now? Do you wanna ride or die? La 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 la. Tupac Outlaws right here. Should have run on straight. That part. Outlaws. Y'all keep the Dazzy. Woo! Big sight. Fatal Hussein. Get him, T.I.
Some say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Some say the darker the flesh, then the deeper the root. Give a holler to my sister's on welfare. Tupac care, if don't nobody else care. And I know they like to beat you down a lot. And when you come around the block, brother clown a lot. Please, don't cry, dry your eye, never let up. Forgive, but don't forget, girl, keep your head up. And when he tell you you ain't nothing, don't believe him. And if you can't learn to love you, you should leave him. Cause sister, you don't need him. And I ain't trying to guess you up, I'm just calling him how I see him. You know it make me unhappy, a brother make a baby, and leave a young mother to be a pappy. And since we all came from a woman, got a game from a woman, and a name from a woman. I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women, do we hate our women? It's time to kill for our women, time to heal our women, be real to our women. Cause if we don't have a race of baby that will hate the lady that made the baby. And since the man can't make one, he had no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. Real men get up. I know you're fed up, lady, but keep your head up. Yeah. Yeah. you're feeling all alone, daddy long gone, and if you by your lonesome, make it for my kids, even if nobody else want them. Cause I think we can make it a fact for sure. And if you are sad, Tyler, come back for more. Cause ain't nothing worse than when your son wants to know why daddy don't love him no more. You can't complain you was dealt this hell of a hand without a man feeling helpless. Too many things for you to deal with. You're dying inside, but outside you look and feel it. While the tears are rolling down your cheek, you steady hoping things don't fall down this week. Cause if it did, you couldn't take it. But don't blame me, I was given this world, I didn't make it. Why? We're getting older and older and cold from having the world on the shoulder. While the rich kids are driving Benz, I'm still trying to hold on to my surviving friends. And it's crazy, the scenes will never let up. But please, you got to keep your head up.
I was like 14 playing in all these different clubs in San Francisco. Pretty soon after that, I was hanging out with Santana. We got together and played, and it turned out that he loved the way I played, and he wanted me to join his band. I left Santana in '72.
That's when those of us that became Journey gathered together.
We played stuff nobody did, and it was really built around the instrumentals, more so than vocally.
We were like the rock and roll mob, Vishnu, Grateful Dead on steroids.
We sold more tickets than we did records.
Everybody's feeling at that time was, well, maybe we should look for a singer, you know, maybe we're missing a front man here. Steve came out, him and I hit it off.
I think I just did what I did, which was sing and started working out some harmonies.
I looked over at him, I was going, my God, this guy's got a voice.
When the lights go down in the city.
Started getting a lot of airplay. That's when everything really shifted.
Greg told us he wanted to move on and actually suggested to us that we should check out Jonathan Cain.
Jonathan came, and it just was like you've got a 5-speed car, and all of a sudden there's a 6th gear.
When we were a jam band, it was mostly guys in the audience, and now our audience was 80% women.
And I said, you know what? We're going to write songs about these people's lives.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world.
I felt really, really comfortable writing with John. It just happened to be one of those things that just clicked.
Journey's new album Escape, #1 in the nation.
We would write tunes that would fill an arena. It was really exciting to be playing for so many people.
We were a rock and roll orchestra. Neil was very symphonic. He was an entire string section. Ross was very lyrical on the bass. And Steve Smith being able to build it up and take it and make it fly. And with Steven's voice being able to soar above all this, there was no stopping us.
Don't stop believing.
I'm real proud of Journey, what it did for music then and now.
As crazy as it got, as insane as it got, it was magic. No one will be able to take away what was accomplished with this band.
Don't stop.
Good evening. My name is Pat Monahan, and I sing in a San Francisco band called Train. And tonight, I'm here to live out a lifelong dream of mine to induct the heart of San Francisco music into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I am talking about a band that has 19 top 40 hit singles, 25 gold and platinum albums, a greatest hit album that is diamond and a half. That is 15 million albums. For those of you who are new to the world of music, we may never hear those words again. Now, I love every incarnation of this band, past and present. Hit album after hit album, after biggest rock song in the world, after even bigger ballad, after humongous success and stadium tours, this band from San Francisco changed the face of music, radio, and live performance around the globe. Faithfully. Or how about na 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 na? They didn't even need lyrics. That's how badass this band is. I'm just a kid from Western Pennsylvania. I moved to San Francisco because the song Lights made me think that maybe I could fit in there and be someone. This band changed my life. I don't believe in guilty pleasures. You either like it or you don't. And I have loved this band my whole life. It isn't just my honor to induct these gentlemen tonight. It is my appointed duty to induct the heart of San Francisco music into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And it's about damn time, ladies and gentlemen, Journey.
Thank you, Pat. This is so long time coming. I thought it would never happen. And so proud to be up here with all these men. I love all you guys. And Steve Perry, you're one of a kind. You're one in a million. Greg Raleigh, if it wasn't for Greg and Santana, there would be no Journey. Herbie Herbert, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank my beautiful wife, Mikkel. I love you. Thank you so much. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Irving Azoff, John Barrett. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. What a great night this is for me. This is my second trip here. And what a trip this has been. I want to thank Neil Schon for calling me while I was up in Seattle and saving me from the restaurant business. Don't ever do it. To start Journey. And you know, it's been an incredible trip for my life. I want to thank the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for inducting this band finally. This is really, for me, this is really about all you guys, especially Journey fans tonight. This is yours, but it'll be proudly displayed at my home in Austin, Texas. Peace.
Being from Chicago, I just want to thank the Cubs for winning the World Series so we could get in the Hall of Fame. Good evening. I'd like to begin by thanking my father, Leonard, for believing in me, my mentor, my vision keeper. He prophesied success from the time I was 8 years old after a terrible school fire, and later said to me, "Son, don't stop believing." On a life-changing phone call, as I struggled with my career back in the 70s, he's gone now. I miss you, Dad, and I love you. To all the members of the Babies for giving me a shot. allowing me to be part of the creative process. And to my brothers in Journey, for believing and trusting I could be part of shifting and sustaining a signature sound. To former bandmates Steve Augeri, Dean Castronova for helping us down the road. And to my wife Paula, who stands beside me in love and respect. I love you all. And thanks to you, Lord, for keeping your guiding hand upon us all those years. This honor was truly worth the wait. God bless.
Hello, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You sure look good to me tonight. When I was living in Los Angeles, I was looking to get a record deal, trying my very best. It was tough to get signed at those times. And I would always go to the Starwood to see Journey perform because these guys had the most amazing musical ability. I'd never seen a band like that in my life. Though their musicianship was absolutely par to none, there was one instrument that was flying above the entire city of Los Angeles. That was the magic fingers of Neil Sean's guitar. Somehow, one of my demo tapes fell into the hands of Herbie Herbert. And the next thing I knew, because of Herbie, I was writing music with Neil Sean. And the very first song we ever wrote together was Patiently. You remember that one? So, I absolutely must tell you, I must thank Herbie Herbert for believing in me. Thank you. Ainsley Dunbar, Greg Rowland, Steve Smith, Neil Sean, Jonathan Cain, Ross Failure. Are you fucking shitting me? Any singer would give his ass for that shit. I mean, they play so well. So, guys, I thank you so much for all the music we've written and recorded together. It will be forever in my heart. Thank you. I must give a complete shout out to someone who sings his heart out every night, and that's Arnel Pineda. Where are you, Arnel? Where are you? To Arnel, I love you. Lastly, the Fan Asylum was Journey's first fan club. So the fan club, Fan Asylum, was brilliant. We want to thank them. Now, speaking of fans, speaking of fans, you're the one who put us here. You are the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You put us here. We would not be here had not it been for you and your tireless love and consistent devotion. You never have stopped. And from my heart, I must tell you, I've been gone a long time, I understand that, but I want you to know you've never not been in my heart. I want you to know that. And I love each and every one of you. Thank you so very much. This is a special song about our city by the bay. We're glad to be in your city right now. If you could light this place up, I was going to dedicate this to Steve Perry tonight.
just say deeper. But there is a sound that rise. It takes the midnight train anyway. I seen a man in smoking room, smell of white cheap perfume. Falls my shares the night goes on and on and on. You know, come on, strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. Their shadows searching in the night. Streetlight people living just to find emotion. Working hard to get my fill. Everybody wants to thrill. Bad adventure on the dice. Come on, just what? Oh yeah. Somewhere losing. Some wanna sing the blues. Wanna beat up first. It goes on and on and on. You know, come on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. Their shadows searching the night. Streetlight people living just to find emotion. Hiding somewhere
You probably don't know my name, but I bet you know at least one of my songs. Where I come from, groove is everything.
My group was called Chic. It was myself and Bernard Edwards. We noticed that if our records had a good beat and it would get people on the dance floor, we could be as innovative as we wanted to be.
My style is a collection of all the different music forms I've been into. Jazz, rock and roll, a lot of funk, with the emphasis on rhythm. I'm playing a melody in between playing the rhythm. Bernard and I, honestly, we just sort of backed into production. It was sort of a natural thing. It was like, wow, I can do this. I was meant to do this. Basically, I approach it as a songwriter first. That's my little technique. I just want to make the songs musical. We are family. The
The producer of a record is like the director of a film. We have to understand these people's artistry and try and develop that with our interpretation of where they're coming from. Diana was instrumental in teaching us that. The Disco Sucks thing had happened. I went from a guy who was sort of freaked out and didn't know where I was going, and then all of a sudden I got this stay of execution and had a new life all of a sudden as a producer. When David first approached me, he said to me, "Niall, I want you to do what you do best."
And Niall got hold of it and did these horn arrangements. Seeing that being taken and shaken by a producer, made into something unbelievably commercial. It was marvelous.
I made it through the wilderness. I chose to work with Nile Rodgers because I think that he's a genius.
Nile Rodgers, the man who made my record.
I was never that visual artist. So now I could do what I did behind people who really were visual. So basically, they're the ones that get all the attention and all the press, and I just live vicariously through their music. If you take that part out, the song goes away. It's just not there anymore.
The doctor said I need about 3 weeks of recovery.
The hip-hop community gravitated to our break beats. We still get sampled every other day. This is what happens to life. It evolves. It changes. You can't help it. You can go into a club. You can put on this music, and it could transform the way you feel.
She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night.
You know, the best collaborations in my life are when the people you work with are as good as you expect, and then even better than that. Those are the kind of relationships I live for.
We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky.
To present the award for musical excellence, please welcome Pharrell Williams.
You know, about 5 years ago, I met up with the Robots and Daft Punk to discuss recording a song together. They asked what I was working on, and I told them that I was kinda in this Nile Rodgers place. And I remember they paused, and they kinda looked at each other, and they said, well, this is what we want you to write to. And then they played me the demo to the song that became Get Lucky. And then there was Nile and his trusted hit maker, Stratocaster, laying down his signature rhythmic riffs. I remember listening to Get Lucky for the first time, and it reminded me of a party on an exotic island on another planet. It was freedom, it was exuberance, it was unity, it was a throwback to another era, but it was also right now. It was also the first time I worked with Nile physically, but spiritually, he's been in the studio with me for more than 25 years. Whether it was his landmark work with Chic or production for Madonna, David Bowie, Duran Duran, and countless others, Nile Rodgers never needed to be the flashy showman trying to upstage anyone. His ethos has always been putting the artist first, placing himself in the background and happily ceding the spotlight. You can hear it immediately in his chucking guitar on Chic's first single, whose title might as well have been Nile's commandment for all of us in the past 40 years. Dance, dance, dance. Carl Sagan once said, for small creatures such as we, the vastness is bearable only through love. And that's exactly what Nile and his music has brought to people over the years. Love. I just want to say thank you for your tremendous genius contribution that's moved and rocked so many generations. For more than 40 years, Nile, you've always been the coolest dude in the room. The whole entire room is honored to present you with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Award for Musical Excellence.
life has been so amazing. I started out, I was just a little kid on the side of my bed, just playing guitar, hoping to get one hit record. When I met this gentleman named Bernard Edwards, a bass player who started out as a guitar player, who had this interesting style of playing. And he told me about chucking. And he just said, man, you need to change your shit up. You got all this jazz knowledge, but like if you learn how to play this thing, we could like change music. And I was like, okay, cool. I went and I traded my guitar, my expensive big fat jazz guitar, for this little Fender Stratocaster that was like for like $170-something bucks. We were the opening act for the Jackson 5. And from that journey, I have when people work with me, they think that I'm the boss. Believe me, every record I do, I join the band. I try and make every artist believe that all I have is their best interest at heart. I said to Madonna, when we finish this record, it's gonna say, Madonna, produced by Nile Rodgers. My name doesn't mean shit, it's gonna be this big. This award, which is amazing to me, is really because of all the people that have allowed me to come into their lives and just join their band. Be it Mick Jagger, be it Madonna, be it Bowie, be it the B-52s, be it INXS, be it Daft Punk, be it Pharrell Williams, be it Diana Ross, be it Sister Sledge. I mean, just goes on and on and on. And I gotta tell you, thank you, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
You'll be hearing from me, baby. Long after I'm gone, I'll be speaking to you sweetly from my window in the Tower of Song. A sip of wine, a cigarette, and then it's time to go. I tied it up, the kitchenette. I tuned the old banjo. I'm wanted at the traffic jam. They're saving me a seat. I'm what I am, and what I am is back on Goliath Street.
Most riders just have one song. If you can get that one right, well, you're doing okay.
And oh, my love, I still recall the pleasures that we knew. Rivers and the waterfall, wherein I bathed with you. Bewildered by your beauty there, I kneel to dry your feet. By such instructions, you prepare a man.
it's done, then it's done. I'm back on Boogie Street.
It's a God-given gift, and when a musician gives back unto that glory, it's a wonderful thing.
And now, Lenny Kravitz.
Can the congregation stand up?
Dig, if you will, the picture of you and I engaged in a kiss. The sweat of your body covers me. Can you, my darling? Dream if you can, a courtyard, an ocean of violets in bloom. Animals strike curious poses. They feel the heat. How can you just leave me standing alone in a world that's so cold? Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father. Maybe you're just like my mother. She's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry. No love, no hope inside. Don't cry, he is coming. Don't die without knowing the cross. Ghettos to the left of us, flowers to the right. There'll be bread for all of us if we just can bear the cross. Sweet songs of salvation, a pregnant mother sings. She lives in starvation. Her children needs all she brings. We all have our problems. Some are big, some are small. Soon all our problems will be taken by the cross. The cross. Oh yeah. Sing it, y'all. The cross. We paid the price.
With Mother Love Bone, you had some success, a bit of a tragedy there. What made you decide to form something totally different?
We wanted to do something new. I got a call to try singing, so I sent up a tape.
I called Stone up and said, you got to come over right now and you got to listen to this.
All of a sudden, I was living in Seattle.
I remember when Ed first came to town, it seemed like it was something that he'd been kind of waiting for his whole life. It was obvious within the first few minutes that it was something that I'd been waiting for also.
I'll be a new kid for a while.
The music that sprouted right off the bat was heartfelt and deep, and before we knew it, we all spent 5 days rehearsing. The sixth day, we played a fucking show.
It was all a whirlwind. We went from bands to playing little clubs to a little bit bigger clubs, and then we get on Lollapalooza, and then you have everything blow up.
It's a little bit overwhelming to see this many people.
Kind of got ripped off of that slow rise that R.E.M. got.
Wow, we've been swallowed up by the mainstream. No one's going to want to listen to us.
We were just trying to figure out how we were going to be a band down the road.
How were you going to survive and not piss someone off?
I think a lot of the energy became a part of us, and whether it's anger or intensity or whatever that is, I think that ended up being a part of the songs.
You have to be very committed to your ideals because you are risking turning some people off.
Don't let anybody tell you that you're not allowed to speak up on the issue.
I feel proud of the fact that we're known as a live band before anything else these days.
Yeah, it's just such a great gauge on how the crowd's feeling, and that's why the set list doesn't get done until 10 minutes before we play.
You're the whole reason that this thing is even halfway a success.
I seem to recognize your face.
People stayed with us because we stayed true to whatever our vision was.
By engaging with the fans and then playing songs that are important to them, the energy you get back, that's where the shows become magical.
I hear you.
You feel lucky every time you go on tour and you go like, wow, man, like 15,000 people showed up, and that just kind of reignites the whole thing, you know?
There really is just a collective understanding of how fortunate we are to still be playing music with the same group of people. And it makes being in a band a joy.
Because really, you know, this music, that's the only thing that's going to last.
And now, David Letterman.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. All right, thank you. That's very kind of you. I can't begin to tell you what an honor and a privilege it is for me to be out of the house, honest to God. I know Neil Young was supposed to be here. And people are saying to me, like I had something to do with it, why isn't Neil Young here? And the truth of it is, the poor guy just can't stay up this late. That's what I heard. It was either that or he swallowed a harmonica. I'm not sure. And when I came here to rehearsal this afternoon and heard live music again, I was reminded, oh my God, what a gift live music is. I know all of these people, and my band and Paul Shaffer were tremendous. Never take the opportunity for live music for granted. That's the message I could bring to you folks tonight. It's a delight to be back here for this. In 1991, things in the world of musical culture changed with an album entitled 10. And it was like a Chinook coming out of the Pacific Northwest. And it had anger to it, and it appealed to 20-something people who felt displaced and unemployed and left out. And I was almost 50, and even I was pissed off. And then it turned out that these guys in Pearl Jam were something more than a band. They a true living cultural organism. They would recognize injustice and they would stand up and react. In 1994, these gentlemen risked their careers by going after those beady-eyed, bloodthirsty weasels at Ticketmaster. Those blood-sucking, beady-eyed weasels. I'm just enjoying saying that. And because they stood up to the corporation, I'm happy to say, ladies and gentlemen, today, every concert ticket in the United States of America is free. As I've got to know these gentlemen, they're very generous of spirit. As a matter of fact, listen to this. Tonight, the entire balcony is full of former Pearl Jam drummers. Stand up. Come on, boys. There they are. I want to say a couple of things about the music of this group. And the nice thing about knowing them for as long as I've known them, I know them as friends as well as cultural icons. There was a period in my life when I couldn't stop doing this. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. 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 Great, now we owe him a lot of money. One night on the show, I'm doing it, and the stage door bursts open. In walks Eddie Vedder. He sings the song with Paul and the band. Then he comes over to me and he looks me right in the eye and he says, "Stop doing that." And I was cured, ladies and gentlemen. I want to tell you a story that I'm very fond of, and it's about a friendship with a guy who has done something for me that I'll remember my entire life. When I had 3 shows left to go on a run, and Eddie Vedder was on that show, and he sang Better Man. And I like to tell myself it's because it rhymed with Letterman. But at the end of the show, Eddie Vedder came up to me and he handed me this, and I don't know if you can see that, but that's the name of my son. And he gave me this letter and he said, "This letter is for your son. I want you to give it to Harry." I think we have a picture of my son, Harry. Is he? There he is. That's the worst. Forget that. It's we've had him to all the best clinics. We've taken a gap year in middle school. I don't know. So if you're in show business, likely there's a good, strong streak of cynicism in you, and I would be the president of that club, except for things like this. This letter to my son from Eddie Vedder, May 18th, 2015. 3 shows left for me. I'll read you this letter now, if you don't mind. This is Eddie talking to my son. "Hi, Harry. My name is Eddie Vedder, and I'm a friend of your dad's. I wanted you to have this small guitar to start with. Try it out, make a little noise, I'll make you a deal. If you learn even one song on this guitar, I'll get you a nicer, bigger one for your birthday, maybe an electric one. You let me know." And my son loves to fish. Eddie adds here, "Playing guitar is kind of like fishing for songs. Good luck, Harry, in all things. Yours truly, Ed." There's quite a few reasons why these people are in the Hall of Fame, but forgive me if this personally is the most important reason they're in the Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my extreme pleasure and honor to induct into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame the legendary Pearl Jam. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe the most important reason we came here tonight is not to receive this honor, but to honor those who have worked so hard for this band to help it function, to help it grow, to help it flourish. Sometimes only inching forward. To all these people, we give our most sincere and deepest thanks. Your hard work and love and dedication means that this award is as much for you as it is for us. You make us feel like we're one big happy family. We want to thank our fans and our fan club. Whose belief in us carried us through the times where we didn't believe, or we lost hope, or we lost the plot, or we lost each other. Thank you so much to the greater Pearl Jam community, whose fierce autonomy and evolving manifestation is still a source of amazement and wonder to us all. Keep doing what you're doing. We're having so much fun watching you.
I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame for including me with this amazing band, and Pearl Jam saved my life. And to the Jamily, and to my family, my kids, I love you guys. Thank you.
Hello, hello. I would like to thank my brothers in Pearl Jam for inviting me into their incredible family, their incredible band in 1998. My brothers in Soundgarden for inviting me into their band in 1986. We so appreciate the fans and the life's blood that you give to our art form, rock and roll. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Whew. That feels good. There are pivotal moments in life that change you forever. I've had many of these, but the first was in 1976. I was a Boy Scout one day, 11 years old, when my friends Danny and Rick told me about the rock band Kiss. I asked my parents for a guitar that night. I want to thank my mom, Louise McCready, for her love and support, for teaching me about Warhol and the Rolling Stones and dyeing my hair. My dad, Roy McCready, thank you for giving me the love and guidance and teaching me to train my mind, body, and spirit. Pearl Jam, you're my brothers. I love you. I love you guys. I love your families. My dear friend Duff McKagan told me one time, you guys did it right, but we're only as good as the people that are around us. Our manager, Kelly Curtis, Michelle Anthony, Michael Goldstone, Nicole Vandenberg, George Webb, Donnie Spada, Chris Adams, Brendan O'Brien, and our fan club, our road crew, and every person that holds us up so we can do what we love. Oh, and finally, to my amazing wife, Ashley, who keeps my world together, I love you. All right, thank you.
In 1983, I moved to Seattle looking for my tribe. I met Stone within a month of moving to Seattle. At those first Seattle punk rock shows I went to almost 35 years ago, which ultimately led me to our band and our community. Being here with the band, who have become some of my best friends in the process, making music and art, traveling the world, supporting causes and programs together, making small differences, meeting great artists and creative minds all over the world. That's a pretty great fucking life. Thanks. It's an honor and mind-boggling to be a part of a club that includes so many of our heroes. Neil, The Clash, Zeppelin, The Stooges, Cheap Trick. But the fact is that we were affected and infected by bands that aren't here. So many important bands that made us want to pick up our guitars and write songs. Roxy Music, The Jam, Devo, X, Black Flag, Dead Kennedys, Jane's Addiction, so many others, all worthy. But the very best part about tonight is that my mom, who gave me the keys to the piano and the arts, and my dad, who taught me about hard work and community, they're here with my family. So this is for every small town kid who has a dream. Thanks to everybody who supports us and inspires us, our great friends, everybody who works with us, with the band, but especially Pandora, who puts up with my consistent inconsistency every day. Thank you. I love you.
Very kind. Thank you so much. So, climate change is real. That is not fake news. And here we are in our modern technology, advanced technology age, and we've got a lot of evolving to do. It's evolution, baby. So, lucky and grateful are two things I am every day. And I'm just grateful to be alive. And I also, I want to publicly apologize, you know, all the, you know, making our bandmates, making my bandmates suffer with a singer who was climbing on the rafters and hanging off of pipes and jumping off of balconies and they really didn't deserve that. And, but it was also the power of music. I swear, I used to be able to like hold my whole body up with one finger. But if the music wasn't playing, I couldn't do it with both hands. It's the power of rock and roll. One illustration. When I think about high altitudes, I think about my wife, Jill. You know, a kite does not rise into the air unless someone is holding the string. It's so important, you know, especially if that kite gets way high in the air, you really have to trust the person holding the line. And that person has to be loyal and believe in you and then have the strength to reel you back. And so to my wife, Jill, I thank you. And I'm looking forward to all our future days on the ground together. And I'm glad I get to hold the cord for you when you get to soar as you do. My two daughters, Olivia and Harper. I try to teach them everything I know, and then they teach me the rest. And if somehow, some way, Chance the Rapper ever sees or hears this, I just want to tell him my daughter, Olivia, loves you. And you have our highest approval. And I also, Chance, want to thank you for all the great work you're doing in Chicago. That's the kind of music activism that gives us all hope. So these three girls, I just can't tell you, I just love them more than anything. And that's a lot because, it says a lot because I really love The Who. And the Ramones and the band and Fugazi and Iggy Pop and Sleater-Kinney and the Guided by Voices, and the list goes on because I've listened to music every day of my life for my whole life. And you know how lucky I was to meet Jack Irons. He's here tonight. Without meeting him, none of this happens because I don't meet Jeff and Stone. I'm not in this building. I'm probably not even on the planet. I'm certainly not in the spot that I'm standing in now. Jack, thanks so much, and thanks for your friendship, and you're a great drummer for our group. Somehow we were so fortunate that, you know, we had a few drummers. But Matt Cameron has really been the one that really kept us alive for this last 15, 16, 17 years. At a time when we didn't know we weren't sure what was going to happen, and he enabled us not just to survive, but to thrive. And we had the great Dave Abbruzzese. He was a great drummer. He is a great drummer. He's a great fucking drummer. Matt Chamberlain, Jack, and now Dave Cruzen, who we got to play with this week for the first time in 25 years. And speaking of Dave's, I really want to thank Dave Letterman for being part of our honor tonight. So lastly, we've been through a lot, this group, and if it weren't for everybody out there who cared about our music, if it weren't for everybody out there who came to the shows and brought their energy, those were the things that really kept us together, and we felt a responsibility to the music that was bigger than ourselves. We knew that we were better together than apart, and it was you that galvanized us and forged a brotherhood and a family. I love these people so much. And we love hanging out, and we love touring, we love playing, we love writing, we love recording. And I feel like maybe we're about halfway there to deserve something of this an accolade of this kind of stature, maybe halfway there. But this is very encouraging, and we're very grateful, and thank you very, very much.
Alive.
Thank you.
It's for you, man.
Tuned in, but he tuned out. A bad time, nothing could save him. Alone in a corridor, waiting locked out. He got up out of there, ran for hundreds of miles. They made it to the ocean, had a smoke in a tree. The wind rose up, set him down on his knees. I wake in crashing, I am fist in the jar. Delivered in wings, say, look at me now. I'm swimming with the seas flow. Floated back down 'cause he wanted to share his key to the locks on the chains that he saw everywhere. Oh, but first he was stranded, then he was stabbed by a faceless man. Yeah, fuckers, we still stand, and we still give our love. He just gives it away. The love he receives is the love that is saved. And sometimes it seems strange, but in the sky, a human being that was given to on the keyboard. He's played every show with us for the last 17 years. He's our Hawaiian mana. So let me thank him and introduce you, everybody. Mr. Boom Gasper on the keys, the B3. Waiting, watching the clock as 4 o'clock as as he looks her over. She lies and says she's in love with him. Can't find a better man. She dreams in color, she dreams in red. Can't find a better man. Can't find a better man. Can't find a better man.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Hall of Fame. I think we're going to do one more. We're getting a few more people out here. This one's for Uncle Neil.